How did you manage during the COVID-19 pandemic? As you said, the stores were shut, people couldn't go out, but you still had to do your work at the foundation, and even more so.
Yes, because hunger at the time was really very significant. So we had to think different ways of approaching it. So the usual calamity assistance is, people come in groups and get their, but we cannot do that. We cannot organize that. So we have luckily several good partners on the ground. So for example, one community association, they organize themselves into clusters of one leader per 10 households. And during the drop of time, these leaders would come one at a time, pick up the items that are due to the 10 households under them, and then they will do the individual distribution. And then for us, that was wow. So it's actually possible to still spread and provide meals, even in this context. We have a partnership with the Coast Guard. And those communities in Navotas where it's very hard to reach, it's the Coast Guard people who went on their boats to start distributing the food packs directly to the families. So, as I said, there is a very strong spirit of generosity that we have to learn to tap always. And when we do that, miracles happen, things happen. And for that, we're very grateful.
How has it changed your strategy, though? The COVID appears to be sort of a marker in your 17 years of the 20 years of Jollibee Foundation.
Yes.
How is that now going to plot out the next few years? As we're noticing the severity of the storms are getting stronger and the quakes are happening in shorter gaps that we have to deliver fast and more.
Yeah. So there are two things that we're doing along that line. First, what we learned from the pandemic, the farmers program. What we do is we train local government units or microfinance institutions or academic institution on the approach of collective marketing. Before, we will do it and train our partners face-to-face over a period of 1 year because it would require them to learn it, apply it, then come back. So it's a hands-on kind of training. But when the pandemic struck, okay, what do we now do? We move into the online platform. And what we used to do for 1 year got shortened to 6 weeks. What would run for, say, 35 people, we will now reach 300 plus people in 1 year. And that, together with our partner, Xavier University, has allowed us now to reach more. And I think the challenge for us is how do we continue to maintain an online platform so that even coaching can be assisted that way, because organizing the farmers is not easy. Teaching them to now think of production, of supplying, of logistics and cold storage, it requires constant support. And that's why we need to ensure that our coaches are able to do that. On the other hand, this whole issue of weather. Farmers are, of course, that's their biggest risk, they're ready to harvest and then the typhoons come and what happens? So in 2023, we started working with the Weather Channel to make available barangay-level data weather forecast. And so now we have the data, but how do we now make sure it gets to the farmers? Because many of the farmers don't have internet access. Together with our business technology team, that data is now converted into SMS. And every day, the farmers will get a notice at 7 a.m. and at 5 p.m. telling them that in the next 12 hours, this is the chance of rain. This is how much rainfall you'll expect. And the farmers are very happy because now they see that, okay, I don't need to do sort of putting or doing, for example, harvesting because the rains are going to come. Or maybe I have to do it earlier because rains are coming. Or if I need to provide some inputs, I won't do it because they'll just be run off and it's a waste, So
Is it
helping
accurate?
them.
What are you noticing? Is it very
actually
accurate?
very accurate. It's 99%. There's no 100%. But we've been asking the farmers and they're very happy with it. And so we're now looking at how to expand it more. But of course, there's a lot more that we need to learn. And we're really on the lookout for more tools that farmers can use tools that are relevant to them, but at the same time accessible and even affordable. So our goal is, for example, is to make sure that these practices that they get are really something that they can apply and spread to more farmers everywhere, because that's the only way they can really make it useful for them.